Welcome back to another amazing episode of the FitBiz Journey podcast. Guys, in this episode, I have Hayden Bowe, the co-founder of Hybrid Performance. Yes, the #1 online coaching platform, and we have so many coaches and amazing people who are using them already, and I'm here to share their story and how their business is thriving right now and how yours could too as well. And if you don't know as much about Hayden Bowe, but what is so cool is that he actually just deadlifted 665 pounds being at 195 pounds, and he also lifted 700 pounds on squats, again being at a 195 pound guy, which is pretty unbelievable if you ask me. So if you don't believe me or you haven't seen it, just go check out their social media, which we're going to link in below. Him and his wife, Stephie Cohen, is pretty amazing people to follow in the fitness industry, especially now. They took this big risk way before the lockdown, about 5-6 years ago, to go all online versus other gyms who took the risk of going brick and mortar. So now those are the gyms that are closed and the online businesses are thriving. So I was super excited to sit down and give his perspective on online coaching, current gym states, businesses, and how to go forward in the future when you want to own your own gym or want to continue on the online coaching perspective of your gym. I sat down with Hayden to talk about how they are doing right now and what they would recommend for gym owners and personal trainers right now during the lockdown and then after the lockdown. So guys, make sure to stay tuned because we're literally talking to the #1 people in the online coaching business. First of all, thank you so much, for coming on our podcast right now, especially with all this coronavirus lockdown and the craziness going on. I know that you must be busy just because most of your business is all online, correct?
Yeah, the vast majority of it's online. So, there's been a little bit of a silver lining for us being able to fast track projects just because we're stuck here with really nothing to do but work. So we're just taking meetings all day and pushing a lot of stuff forward actually at a faster pace than we would have had this not happened. So there's a little bit of a positive there in a situation. Thank you for having me on the podcast. I'm excited to hopefully share some insight with your listeners in a time that I know is tough for a lot of people, gym owners and brick and mortar business owners in particular. Thank you so much for doing this because
I just had actually a podcast with Jordan Syatt and up in New York. And then right after that, as soon as we left, I was like, we need to get on a podcast. And I think that's when I emailed you as well. And I guess it's a good and a bad thing in a way that we got aligned during this lockdown because I was really looking forward to meet you guys, down in Miami. But it is what it is. We are doing the best as we can. But I'm super excited to talk to you because I've been receiving so many emails, messages, even calls from gym owners all over the US and even from Europe. And they just don't know what to do. So they're freaking out. They have to pay a rent. They have to pay employees. They have to let them go and all this going on. So I wanted to talk to someone that actually, I don't know if you had to do that, but I wanted to talk to someone who actually on the other side of this and might have get something out of this lockdown in a way that you're basically just going on with your regular life every day besides you're in a lockdown, right? But as far as the business, you guys should be able to operate as before.
Yeah. Like I said, in some ways, it's actually helped us move projects forward. We own a gym as well, so obviously that part of the business will suffer. But luckily, that's not a huge part for us. That the gym is more sort of just a place that we put together so that we could have a positive training environment, so that we could provide a place for our coaches to train and a place that we could bring other professionals from the industry. That's a positive and professional environment. We do a lot of online collaborations with other people in the industry, so it's great for shooting video content and stuff like that. But we've been able to just do most of the content that we do from home. We've been recording podcasts virtually the way that we're doing it right now, taking photos at our home gym, which we're lucky that we have here, and still being able to get decent training sessions and stuff like that in. But as far as the rest of the business, there's ups and downs. I think more than anything, we've noticed that just the fluctuations are greater day to day in terms of training for the online portion, like the online training portion. it took a bit of a dip initially while people were sort of figuring out what they were going to do. You know, some gyms were closed, some gyms were open. And I think a lot of people now have gotten to the point where, you know, they're seeing that this might take a little bit longer than we first anticipated to get back to normal. So they're setting up home gyms and they're doing stuff like that. So we've seen the signups on the training side swing up. In terms of nutrition, another service that we offer is the one-on-one nutrition coaching, and that's been fine. I mean, I think it's a good opportunity for people to, you know, when they're staying at home, there's only so much you can do. You can watch TV, you can exercise, and you can eat pretty much, and work if you're able to work remotely. So eating is a huge part of it, and I think people are realizing that this is a good opportunity to sort of use nutrition to make the best of a tough situation. And then the apparel is another side of our business, and we actually had our best month to date for apparel, which is good. You know, I think I think if we can provide a little bit of excitement, you know, I always say that as an adult ordering something online and waiting for it to come in the mail, that's the adult version of Christmas, right? The anticipation and the excitement. So if we're able to, you know, give people a little bit of excitement and a little bit of happiness by, you know, giving them something to look forward to and something they're excited to wear, then I'm happy to be able to do that. And I'm happy people are still supporting us even in a time that's you know, tough financially for a lot of people.
I agree with you 100%, because this shirt that I'm wearing right now, it's not yours, but I have your shirt as well because some of our employees love your product, by the way, Hybrid Performance. So we're going to talk about that too in a minute. But I received the shirt from, it's a sad story, but it is what they had to do and so many gym owners had to do. But Solid Core, they are based in New York and DC. I don't know if you know them or heard of them, but okay, so you might have seen it then, but Anne Mofflum, their CEO, had to fire basically over 200 employees and because of the virus. And then she sent me this shirt. And I was very surprised when I got it in the mail, and in the back it says, you know, basically to get together. I forgot what it exactly says, but it's something about all together, you know, towards the virus and all those. And it was just cool to receive it. And what you just said makes sense why the apparel also just jumped on in your case. So right off the bat, I just wanted to ask him, how did he get started with this? Because, you know, most people, when they become personal trainers or gym owners, they want to own their own business. So I wanted to find out that why did he select to go the online coaching way, especially when they started? There was not many people doing online coaching. And if you started online coaching, people looked at you like you're crazy.
There were a few people who were doing well with online coaching at the time. I think it was more popular in Olympic weightlifting than in the powerlifting side of things. And the way that we came about it was actually pretty organic. Both me and my business partner and fiance, Stephie, Cohen, were doing Olympic weightlifting and powerlifting. And we were actively competing in both of those two sports, which is unusual.
Yeah.
You know, usually people will dive into one discipline and do strictly that. So it's a challenging thing to do, and it takes a lot of finessing around the training program and training in ways that are non-conventional. So we were posting about it online at the time with no sort of idea business-wise, and people just asked enough questions about how we were doing it, if we were going to offer coaching, you know, to the point where we realized that there was demand there, and that there was demand that nobody was really servicing at the time. So we got the idea to launch the program. So we built the software, and then we had no idea, you know, the scale that we were going to get to at the time, but we talked amongst ourselves and said, let's see if we can get like 10 or 15 people to beta test the program. We'll give them a discounted rate, and we'll go from there. And overnight, we ended up getting like 400 people plus applying for those beta tester spots. So instead of 10 or 15, we ended up taking 100 people on to test the program. We wanted to get as big a sample size as we could without it being overwhelming. Mm-hmm. Especially because they were still paying a certain amount for the service, and we wanted to be able to communicate directly with all of those people. And 400, it was a lot to us at the time. So yeah. It was great. You know, they did exactly what we had hoped they would do. They went through the program. They told us stuff in the software that, you know, that glitched, where there were issues, where we could make things better. And yeah, that was 4-ish years ago. And we still have people who are from the beta testing team that are running our programs now. So that's really cool. A lot of them moved on or went on to become group moderators for us. So people who manage the Facebook group and they know the ins and outs and all that stuff. So it's a pretty cool little community. And then from there, our goal became to be sort of the one-stop shop for all things training. You know, there's a lot of companies out there who service one niche. You know, there'll be a weightlifting company or powerlifting or gymnastics. And we wanted to be able to provide a full spectrum of sports for the people who come to us. Because, I mean, anyone who's been in the gym for a long time knows that it can get boring, especially if you're doing powerlifting. Like, there's only so much squat, bench, and deadlift you can do before you need a bit of a break. So yeah, we just decided to be the one-stop shop. Whenever we got requests for programs enough that it showed us that there was a demand for it, we would either write the program if it was something that was in our wheelhouse, or we would hire a coach who either competed or coached at a high level in whatever that discipline was, to write the program and then to do technical analysis and communicate directly with people who do those programs. So the way that actually happens is through our members only Facebook group. So you sign up for our program. The program is all through our online platform. We call it the Hybrid Virtual Gym. And then we have a forum on that site that most people don't use the forum just because Facebook is so easy and everybody has it. So we have a link for members to go to the Facebook group, and you have access to all of our coaches, and you can ask questions 24/7. There's no limit on how many questions you can ask. And beyond just the coaching aspect of it, it's a really cool community of people. You know, we have around 10,000 people that just, are all like-minded, are all interested in self-improvement and training. And a lot of people in that group end up becoming lifelong friends and doing meetups and all that cool stuff. So it's a really a cool environment in there. We have some people who actually, they decide they want to do their own training and not follow a program anymore because they've been with us for a while, and they'll stay they'll keep paying a membership just to be a part of the community, because it really is a special community. And from there, about 18 months after we launched the hybrid program, the training side, we launched the nutrition side, which is one-on-one nutrition coaching. So we started off as a flexible dieting based company, and we've evolved to allow that to, instead of being the focus, be sort of one tool that in the toolbox of things that we use to work with our clients. So we're a big mindset company. Francesco Catalano is our director of hybrid nutrition, and he's in charge of continuing education. So he keeps all of our coaches up to date on what best practices are, what the current literature says. And our goal is to adapt a way of eating around your lifestyle in a way that's sustainable, instead of most diet approaches, which kind of require you to flip your lifestyle upside down in order to suit the parameters of whatever the diet is that you're following. So we preach sustainability, and we preach knowledge and education and learning about what works for you, so people can ultimately take nutrition into their own hands and not be dependent on us or any coach, for their entire lives. So that's probably, training is probably the biggest part of our business. Nutrition is probably second, and third. Just recently, maybe within the last 2 years, we launched Hybrid Apparel, which is our apparel company, and it's been really awesome. Before we didn't want to deal with inventory, and we didn't want to deal with the hassle of all the things that come with offering tangible goods as a product. So we try to stay away from it. And then it was actually our general manager and director of operations, Alex Uslar, who identified that there was demand for it. We print shirts every once in a while for for the members, and they would sell really quick, and people liked them, and they would ask for more. But like I said, we were resistant to it. And then he sort of said, I really think there's an opportunity here for the business to make a lot of money just servicing the demand that people are, that's become obvious. So we said, yeah, I think you're right. If you want to sort of manage that part of the business, then let's do that. And it's actually come to be one of the most enjoyable things we do in the business. It's a really cool creative outlet. There's only so much creativity you can have within the training space, especially when you're confined to training and nutrition. So to be able to think of designs and try to do things different and differentiate ourselves with the apparel has been a lot of fun. And it grew so quickly that we had to get another warehouse. It's a couple of blocks over from the gym facility where we do our own printing and everything all in-house now. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's great. It just made sense for the volume that we were doing to not pay somebody else to do that. So moved it all in-house, and it gives us even more freedom to do whatever we want with the apparel stuff. And our goal is really just been to be unlike any other apparel brand in fitness. We try to do things that have a street feel, that have sort of like a hype fashion feel, that isn't really typical of what you find in fitness. So we've always kind of been an against the grain sort of company, and I think it reflects in the apparel as well.
Yeah, so, I agree. By the way, so when you first started this, did you imagine that it will get to this where you are today, or you did not?
No, I had no idea, and neither did Stephie. We initially thought that we would actually build a software, run our program off it at whatever scale we could, and then market the software to sell to other companies who would want to do something similar, and we would just sort of be like the example that we would show people of what you can do with it. Mm-hmm. But it so quickly turned into a large-scale training business that we never even had time to take our foot off the gas pedal with that and take a second to even think about offering software, as a service. So
that's awesome, and that's very rare, by the way. That that you guys, because what you created it for is what you wanted to do, and then your demo basically blown up.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm happy that it did, because I'm sure there's a lot of money to be made on the tech side of things, but really that isn't our passion. Our passion is training and helping people with their training and nutrition and all of that stuff. Yeah. That's why we got into the industry in the first place. So the fact that it took off in such a way that we could kind of abandon plan A to go for plan B, which was really what we would rather do, it was a real blessing.
Did you guys hear this? So they jumped into online coaching, and they jumped in because people start asking questions. How can I, A, look like you? B, how can I get to your level? And all those amazing things, because simply they are sharing their amazing success of what they've been doing as far as lifting weights, flexible dieting, and all those accomplishments that they have accomplished. And then they had enough people start asking them questions that they were like, I'm gonna give it a shot and let's see what happens from this. They didn't start out with online coaching first. They started out with their career as professional weightlifters, I should say. And they were so impressive that the people just followed right after, so much that they changed their whole perspective of own business. That's awesome. I'm so happy to hear that. And then I just want to clarify something, because our listeners probably at this point, they're like, oh, well, I'm good at coaching, so I'm going to start responding to all the people, all the questions and everything. But I just want to clarify that you guys have accomplished something amazing even prior to all of this, meaning wasn't your record something like 700 pounds with deadlift or something like that?
I've squatted 700 and I've lifted 665.
Yeah, sorry, 35 pounds. I overestimated it, but yeah, so that's something that is for how heavy are you? Like 200 pounds?
Yeah, I compete at 198.
198. So that is a huge accomplishment that most people are never gonna get even close to. And then for you to be able to do that, and then to create something online and able to coach people on how to get better at lifting properly and eating properly, you know, in the right way that they're not stressing out, is just something out of the books that you don't really hear, you know?
Yeah.
So that's why, yeah, it's a really amazing accomplishment, both of you guys. Like, I can't believe it. And then I was just like, can't believe that I didn't hear, when did I first hear about you guys? I think a year ago. And because some of our employees who are a huge follower of your group, and they are in your group, they start sharing stuff with me. And then that caught my attention, and I started looking you guys up. And I think I just started following you on social media now, and I was like, wow, I was missing out. So guys, let's find out why Hayden and Stephie Cohen did not invest into owning their own fitness facilities, just like most of the personal trainers who decide to pursue their career by opening up their own physical gym location.
Well, I think that anyone who gets involved in fitness, or almost anyone, it's their dream to have their own facility.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what interests most of us is, you know, you want to have your own gym with your own rules, your own training environment that you select with, you know, you train around the type of people you want to train around. You know, that's everyone who takes training seriously. That's kind of, you know,
yep.
But with that comes a lot of risk, a lot of overhead. And it also comes with a limited market, because you're really confined to, you know, if you have a really appealing gym setup and you offer something really unique, maybe people are going to drive 10 miles, you know, to go to that gym. And we just wanted to cast a wider net than that. So we were looking to do something that was low risk. So we built a software. The only reason we didn't go with another company that existed was because we thought, although we weren't aware of the scale we'd achieve, we wanted to make it scalable in case that was, you know, we grew to a size that it just wouldn't make sense to pay out 30% or, you know, whatever rate to a hosting site. So built our own, which was relatively low cost at the time. We've continued to improve on it since, but we know we did the bare minimum to start. And then we just used social media, which was booming at the time. Back then, especially, it was a lot easier to get exposure. You know, you had 5,000 followers, and you could post something that gets 1 million views, you know, which is almost impossible with the new algorithm. But we really capitalized on that. We just made it our goal to be in everybody's face, you know, just get as much content out as we could, travel and get in front of as many different channels as we could, and network. And we had the freedom to do that because we didn't have a money pit, you know, back at home that we had to make sure we were there, like looking after things all the time. So I think it was really beneficial for us in terms of obviously cost, but also in terms of mobility, and also in terms of being able to capitalize on a worldwide market instead of just you know, the people who are in a 10-mile radius of us. So I mean, we have people on every continent. We have, you know, places you never even think of for training. You know, anywhere basically there's a military base, we have people doing the program there all over the world. You know, even in Middle Eastern countries, Dubai, places like that, where it's really starting to pick up. We're getting a lot of people from there. And yeah, that's, you know, I think the gym now, in today's day and age with fitness, kind of serves a different purpose than it would in the past. You know, it's basically niche gyms versus the big, you know, Good Life Fitness or LA Fitness or some of those big box gyms. And people are going to the niche gyms if they have, you know, usually they cost more, so they're more expensive, and you obviously have a smaller demographic to work with. But I think if you take more of a, not to use our own name, but a hybrid approach to having a gym facility where you have the gym space, which allows you to create content, which allows you to do all of the complementary things that help you grow an online business, I think then also having an online business can be really helpful. And I think you're seeing more and more people making that shift, because having a gym is fun and you can have a successful physical location. It's just much, much harder to do, especially if you're not somebody who's, you know, who's well-known in the industry. You know, I mean, we have Stephie, who's arguably the most popular name in powerlifting. And even then we cap our membership at 100, but there's times where our membership is not even at the cap, and we have a facility with all the, big facility with all the best equipment with, lots of like people who have social media presences training there and Stephie, and sometimes we're not even at 100 members. So I can just imagine how difficult it would be for people who don't have any sort of online presence or something like that. So
that's a really good point.
Yeah, I think that there's value to having it, like I said, and I think it has a certain level of professionalism to say that, to show that you have a facility where you are practicing what you preach. But if there's a way for you to offer something online that sort of takes the pressure off you having to, keep the lights on with the physical facility, I think that's the way to go.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And right now, the people who are going to watch this are probably like, I should have started earlier. That's what they're probably going to say, because so many people are going to say to you guys that, oh, you guys are lucky because you're all online. But no, you have made this decision a long time ago to be online, and you took the risks of being online and being separate, just like the gyms took the risk to create their own gyms. So it just literally 50-50. Any way I look at it, it was your decision. You made it work. I think both of you, if you would have decided that you're going to open up gyms, you would make that work too, because you are both very hardworking people, and success follows you guys. Not because it comes easy, it's because you guys work for it. That's what it looks like from everything that I have found about both of you. And I just wanted to also ask you that right now, for any of the personal trainers and gym owners, who are watching or listening, do you have any recommendation that they should even jump on board with you guys? I don't know if you're hiring, or I don't know if you have any offer to them, or if literally just talking about the personal trainers and gym owners who are, let's say, stuck at home and they are in a lockdown because their facilities are just absolutely shut and they might not have online coaching.
I mean, I don't think it's ever too late to start. I think that this is, you have, in this sort of situation, you have nothing to lose. You're stuck at home anyway.
Yeah.
This is a great time for people to start looking into that option. Even if it's not a long-term thing, or it's not going to be the main part of their business, having a supplemental income is never going to hurt you. So if you can start offering something online, I think it's a great time. And even with your existing clients, I think everybody who works with people in person should still be trying to do that virtually. I know doctors are doing online appointments. In the PT space, we have friends who own clinics who have moved all of their appointments, over to Zoom. And I think that that's a totally reasonable thing to do in the PT space as well. You can a Zoom account, you can get the free option, or you can get the paid option, which I think it's only like $14 or $15 a month. And if that allows you to still work with your clients and make them feel like their progress isn't going to be put on hold just because they can't go to the gym, it's one, empowering for the client, and two, it shows them that you're able to sort of roll with the punches, and whatever kind of lifestyle constraints they have, you're there to help them through it. So I think that that's something valuable that people can still do.
Yeah, I agree.
For gym owners as well. I've seen a lot of people doing those virtual classes online where everybody's in their living room and one person's leading the workout. There's a lot of options. It's just because the situation isn't optimal doesn't mean that we should all throw in the towel. I think there's a lot to do to make the best of the situation.
So guys, if you have been following the show for a while, then you know that I always ask this question from people that I look up to who are extremely successful in the industry and just in life in general, because I want to know how they spend their time day to day. But this time I'm able to ask them how they spend their life prior to the virus and the lockdown, social distancing, and then during. So I'm super excited to find out what have changed since the lockdown happened and how they're reacting to it, and if it's better or to the worst. So let's find out.
I think it actually changed into having more of a routine. Before, we sort of just, like, we're a young company and we give people a lot of freedom. So, if we had, the only thing we really had that was ironed out in our schedule prior to this was every Wednesday we have a team meeting with all of the team leads. So the guy who directs the nutrition program, our lead moderators, director of operations, Stephie, myself, head of the media team, web developers. We would, we all get together once a week just to make sure everybody's on the same page. But now we have nothing but time, so I'm literally waking up at 8 o'clock, having breakfast, having a sauna, and then coming in here and just sitting down and taking meetings and working all day. It's honestly feels like the first time in my life where I've had a real 9 to 5.
That's weird that you say that right now when it's a lockdown, but I'm so happy to hear that.
Yeah. So I mean, before it was we'd get up, we'd we'd eat, we'd go to the gym. People would be kind of fighting for our attention at the gym from all the different areas of the business. And I think actually the situation has provided us with some good perspective, just in terms of organization and ways that we can do it better. Because sort of being able to detach ourselves from the day-to-day and get a macro view of the business and sort of, feel like Morpheus sitting behind the computer, directing everything. It's been a little eye-opening. It's been good. We've been able, like I said, we've been able to fast track a lot of projects that we wouldn't have otherwise been able to do on this timeline. Just giving us a little bit of clarity. So like I said, it's like I'm working a 9 to 5 for the first time. And in terms of just productivity in that sense, it's been good. Obviously, that's the silver lining. Not that we're happy to be in this situation. It's terrible what's happening, but I'm proud of our team for being able to really make the best of it. And in a lot of ways, it's I think done things that are going to help us more so long term.
Oh, definitely. So it's time to ask him what is his number one advice for you guys.
I think listen to what people are asking of you. That's really, I think a lot of people, they get stuck, whether it be an apparel business, whether it be a gym, whether it be, personal training. People push their own personal agendas onto their clients a lot. And I don't think that's a great way to sustain business. Like I said, our gym, we basically built a gym that is designed to be exactly what we want in a gym. And the people who agree with that and who also identify with that come to our gym. But that's a small number of people in Miami. Like I said, a lot of times we're not even at our membership cap. But if we were going to make a gym that, is designed to generate as much profit as possible, we take a very different approach. So, we've taken that approach with the parts of the business that we want to see growth in with training. Like I said, we started with just one program. And as we saw demand for others, we added and added and added. And now we have, I think, 17 different disciplines that you can be a part of with hybrid. So, it's people wanted nutrition coaching and we added that. We recognize the demand for apparel, and it's the same. And it goes the same for training. I see so many trainers get stuck in a way, especially if they come from a strength sport background, where they're trying to force squat, bench, and deadlift on their clients. And there's ways to train the whole body without ever doing a barbell squat, barbell bench, or barbell deadlift. So, if people are nervous with those exercises, if people have pre-existing injuries, if, there's exercises better suited for people's morphology, I think you should explore those things because, at the end of the day, if your client leaves feeling like they're not being listened to, then it's a lot harder to get them to buy in fully.
Exactly. I love what you said. That's perfect. We're going to probably frame that for all the gym owners and personal trainers. And now it's time to find out what is cooking for Hayden Bowe and Stephie Cohen into the future.
We just started construction on what we're calling the Hybrid Fantasy Factory.
Oh, that sounds amazing already. Tell me more.
So it's actually it's the same size as our gym. It's 5,500 square feet. And it's where currently we've been doing the apparel printing. So we're still going to do the printing out of there, but that'll be just a small portion of it, just a corner. And the rest of it we're building as a way to, we kind of want to have like a Google feel, or Apple, be the Google of fitness. So It's going to have a lounge area, a kitchen. It'll have our new podcast studio, a YouTube studio, a place where you can work out. We're putting in a half basketball court.
Oh, that's awesome.
Pool table, somewhere where people can go and watch the UFC fights, office spaces for people to work in. We're going to have some stuff for our athletes, a sauna, a cold tub, just a lot of cool stuff that we want to use to help improve the company culture and just make it a place that's exciting for people to work, because if people are happy, they're going to do the best work for you. So we're investing in that. Initially, it was supposed to be a 5-month build out, but with what's going on now, it's hard to say. But definitely very, very excited about that. We're in that phase where the anticipation is so high, and we just want to see that final product. It's like when you order something online and you're waiting for it to come, and it's coming up. Still checking every day to see.
Exactly. But that's amazing.
So yeah, that's something we're definitely excited for.
I'm super excited to hear more about it, and I hope once this is over and you guys finished, I will come down there for sure. And you missed out on this a lot, because we just upgraded our podcast like crazy, and we have like 4 cameras and audio and the whole crew to record with, and we are playing a live audience episodes in front of a live audience. So all these cool things, and then this happens, the lockdown, and we are like, great. So now we're on Zoom. But anyways, my point is, once it's all lifted and launched and everything, we would love to come down there and feature it and do a podcast there, because that would be amazing, I think.
Great. Yeah. And, we can do another one down the road in your new spot too.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. And then lastly, where can people find you right now if they would want to look you up?
Personally, Instagram's a great place to start. I'm just at Hayden.Bowe on Instagram. For all things business related, our main page on Instagram is at Hybrid Performance Method. From there, you can get to the podcast, the apparel, the gym, pretty much everything that we do. And then if you just want to skip all that, or you're not a social media person, definitely check out the website. It's just hybridperformancemethod.com. And then for YouTube, check out Stephie Cohen. She does most of our educational content. So her channel is really, the hybrid education channel. So definitely check it out. That's Stephie, Stephie Cohen.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, because I know you are busy, and with all this planning, I am sure that you're more cramped on time than ever. And I'm sure that you're taking on lots of interviews too right now, just because you are basically stuck at home.
Yeah, it's a great time for it.
Yeah. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for thinking of me, and we should do it again soon.
Yeah, thank you. Wow. Did you guys hear that? Fantasy factory for gym owners, personal trainers, and professional athletes. I'm super excited to go down there soon once it's open and this is over, to able to do a live recording with Hayden and with Stephie Cohen right in their fantasy factory, and to share it with you guys. And as you know, guys, we planned on having 4 separate front of a live audience recordings for the FitBiz podcast in 2020, but unfortunately the social distancing really pushed that behind us. So once this is open, finally we can get back to the personal podcast when it's live, and then to get it in front of an audience just like you guys with thousands of people. That is our number 1 goal. So make sure to stay tuned, because we're taking this podcast back to the road once this is over. And make sure to check out Hayden Bowe and Stephie Cohen. I linked their information below. And then make sure to check out, because hybrid performance is something out of the ordinary. I highly recommend it. And the founders are just truly amazing people in the fitness industry that truly want to help you guys. So make sure to check them out as well. And then stay tuned for the next episodes of the FitBiz podcast. Thank you, guys.